सलाम मेरे अजीज पंखों।
Flashback end. Jungkook phone ringer bringing him out of his past. He placed his palm on his heart and smiled on the erratic beat of his heart. He adjusted his arachna and suddenly he felt need to see love of his life. They sniffed, holding Jungkook's shirt close to his heart. It's been weeks that they confessed everything to Mr. Jeon and Miss Jeon. And from that day, his Jungkook didn't talk with him. They, how can I hurt you like that, Cook? They cried, clinging his shirt tightly. They, I'm sorry, but at least talk to me. They talked with his shirt. I know it's my fault that I think about you about at that time. I was afraid. I thought mom and dad will hate me. Many things were in my mind and I failed to think straight, Cook. I'm sorry. They sobbed and went sniff when he felt two arms sliding around his waist, and in a second they was pulled against a hard and warm chest. Jungkook, shh, not a word more. He whispered in his ear and placed a kiss, then making him close his eyes in prayer. I'm sorry, I made you cry, they. He baked his ear and made his face him. Jungkook, it was childish for me that I blamed you for everything. It was my fault. I lacked to make you believe in me and my love. It was my fault, not yours. I'm sorry, love. He made him look in his eyes and wipe his tears. They, no, no, Jung. He shuddered and held his face in his palm. I'm sorry. I act as crowd. Punish me in any way you want. But please don't ignore me. He sobbed, placing kisses on his forehead, finally tears streaming down from his eyes, and he pulled Tae in a deep kiss. He held Tae from his neck and made him look in his eyes. Jungkook, so you want to get punished in other way? He blushed, understanding the meaning behind his word. He opened and closed his mouth before times, and a shy smile captured Tae's lips, and his face turned shade of pink. I didn't. They get interrupted once again by his lips as Jungkook pulled him under him and made his way with Tae. His lips tried down on Tae's body, kissing every part of his body where no one else touched except him. He threw his head back. Another second, Tae was moving in pleasure. They both joining their forehead before losing themselves in each other's kiss. Jungkook, how is my baby doing? Jungkook placed his palm over Tae's stomach. They are doing good. Tae replied, placing his palm over him. Jungkook, then it's time. Jungkook whispered, and before Tae can even understand, he hung over him, and once again, Tae muffled Murad made their way in his ear. They threw his head back as Blair. They reached from the box under his pillow. They, Jung, he cut him off by placing ring right at front of his vision. Jungkook, will you marry me? He asked, and it didn't take Tae a minute. He wrapped his arm around his neck. Tae, yes, I love you. Tae cried, holding him tightly, and Jungkook hugged him more tightly. Jungkook, I love you more. 8 months later, Jungkook, have it. Jungkook passed morsel toward Tae. He opened his mouth and ate quickly. Jungkook, now tell. He spoke strictly. Tae clubbed the clump which formed in his throat. I went downstairs to find you. I didn't know that the floor is wet, Cook. I will not go anywhere without your permission. I promise. Even I will not go washroom without you. Once they get chance, he start babble thing and he sighed defeatedly, placed his lips on Tae and kissed him for a minute. He broke the kiss and cupped Tae's face in his palm before pecking Tae's forehead once again. Jungkook, do you even have a little idea about things which could have happened because of your carelessness? His voice was thick and Tae teared up. Jungkook, do you thought even once about me or our family? Why can't you just listen us for one more month? He asked, still cupping his face in palm. They nodded, teary eyes, and murmured sorry. It's third time in the past 3 months. Jungkook said in a little louder, make they flinch and jump on his face. He stood on his place angrily and held his shoulder. He made him to look in his eyes. Jungkook, now listen to me. I didn't care if I have to tie you up. I will gladly do. If it's mean you and my baby is safe. So better start listening to us. Jungkook knocked on Mr. and Mrs. Jeon's room door and waited for him to open the door. Miss Jeon. Jungkook? She raised her brows cautiously, seeing her son at 2 a.m. in night. Jungkook. Umma. He rubbed back of his head and entered in the room. I want to sleep with Dad today. Can you sleep with Tae for tonight? His mom and Mr. John sighed. Miss John, you both fought again. Oh my god, what I am going to do with you both. Let they deliver the baby first, then I will make you both divorce each other. After that, I will find a sweet groom for my Taeyong. She said and started leaving the room, but was held by Jungkook, who gulped nervously and rubbed back of his neck. Jungkook, we didn't fight. I sincerely want to sleep with Dad, but let it be. I am going back to my Taeyong. He quickly ran away from there without wasting a single second. As soon as he left room, Mr. and Miss John burst in laugh in Taekook's room. Without creating any sound, Jungkook silently joined Tae on bed and wrapped his hand around Tae's waist. Tae, I'm sorry, Tae whispered, making him jump on his place. He breathed rapidly and gave him you are seriously want to kill me look. They pouted negatively and opened his arm wide for him to come. Jungkook faked anger, pout, and glared for a few minutes before melting, and he quickly dropped himself in his arm, not putting any pressure in his abdomen area. I promise I will be careful from now onward, Cook. Just because I love you a lot, it doesn't mean I will forgive you for your carelessness. Next time. Jungkook tried to sound strict and get sexy. They nod like a little kid, making him smile a little, but he soon hid it away from him. Jungkook. Also now I'm only a lover. I'm a husband as well as soon to be a daddy. He whispered in his ocean eyes since a lost 8.5 month bump. He picked his forehead for one more time. 20 more days passed with everything going normal. They obeyed Jungkook as well as every person of family without asking or demanding a single question or thing. His labor time came around and before he could even go through labor, Jungkook shipped Tae in hospital with him. He took great care of Tae. They were well and finally the day of meeting the most come. Their painful cries echo in room. They willing and Dr. Nurse took baby with them to clean them off and wrap them in comfy blankets as they did normal checkup of babies and did all other formalities. Half an hour passed and they regained his consciousness. Their eyes opened and met with his Jungkook teary one before they can blink his lips crashed against him and he engaged they in deep kiss. Someone coughed and they broke apart. Once again his eyes were wet and glassy. He pulled both tiny boys against his chest and peeked their forehead. Tears were rolling down from his eyes and he was wiping off by Taeyong who was itself in tears. He took their lips in kiss and bit his lower lip angrily make blood out of them. Jungkook, they are not mistake. They are symbols, symbols of our love. He looked straight in their eyes and he nodded it tears before they can proceed further. Mr. and Mrs. John stormed inside the ward and took their grandchild in their arms, and they all engaged in family time as both baby opened their eyes. One mirror of Jungkook and another was Taeyong.